could you maybe talk to some of the high-level business outcomes that you've seen Trace3 able to provide to organizations you've been dealing with? You mentioned that you're doing a couple of Center of Excellence initiatives for a couple of Fortune 1000 was it clients, but maybe you can kind of talk to some of the potential benefits as to what that would bring for an organization, so they can walk away and say, yes, that's exactly what I need, and I need to contact Trace3 and my friend Matt to help me get some of those business outcomes. But maybe you can give us a sample of those high level business outcomes that you're seeing that you guys can deliver.
Yeah, I'd say that we've had a lot of success across the board, right? And because we're starting at this perspective of engineering and analytics to insight, we've set up the largest healthcare DGX cluster. DGX is NVIDIA's giant GPU boxes. We've set up the largest healthcare DGX system in the country for a healthcare customer. We're doing tons of service work that is fully integrated with hardware and software solutions and our managed services as well as data science services to use computer vision in a variety of ways, right? From rail car identification on the train tracks to if a patient falls out of bed. And we also are doing a lot of work on edge and IoT because we're seeing more and more computation being done or asking to be done on the edge. And so the ability for companies to essentially leverage that data in real time as opposed to having to send that back and worry about latency or any other restrictions allows for a much greater efficiency. So while I might not be able to share exactly what we're doing with each of our customers, I do have papers on a number of those that we can share if somebody reaches out.
Didn't mean to put you in the spot there, Matt, and you answered it very nicely. Maybe just last question, right? We've talked a lot about the positives. We talked about education. We talked about business outcomes. But I'd be remiss if I didn't ask where you thought potential challenges might come up. Like, so from an executive, and you're saying, look, it can't all be good, right? There's some challenges that you're going to have to be aware of. What would you sort of say to the CDO or CDAO to say, make sure that you look for these and address these, because if not, they're gonna come back and bite you.
There's quite a number, and we could probably talk for 2 hours about it, but I'll keep it brief. I think the AI champion is integral. As I had been a data scientist for quite a few years before I had my consulting firm, the number of times I saw models being built and not leveraged was almost detrimental to one's ego. And the research has shown that 80 to 90% of models never make it into production. Now, that can be due to poor models, which is almost unlikely at this point because the amount of data that companies have. So it's usually due to processes in regards to data scientists don't generally know how to scale and productionize models. That needs to go to a data engineer. And so if there aren't processes internal in place to pass those off, and whether that's Scrum or something else, then that model may just sit in a queue and die at some point. Also, if you're not integrating the right people into understanding how these models can be leveraged or what the benefit is, then they may not leverage you at all. So if your data science team falls under IT and they were doing work for marketing without marketing's request, marketing may not leverage any of those algorithms for customer churn. And so that really gets at the first piece, which I think is it's really integral for that CDO or CDAO to be that AI champion for the company, to really help drive and talk about how data and these algorithms are going to transform our company. The other key takeaway would be the garbage in, garbage out aspect of data. And you have data engineering type cleaning and data science type cleaning. And while there's companies that can do the automated data engineering type cleaning, the data science cleaning is a mix of art and science and math. And so it requires a unique skill set to be able to do effectively. And so if you build models on bad data, you may be losing millions of dollars because the model doesn't accurately reflect what you want it to. And so I think having that right data ingested and making sure that there are checks on that data before anything's built, as well as the processes that lead to those models being productionized and the evangelization of that, are three of the biggest gaps that I see in regards to companies being successful or not successful with AI.
Matt, as you say, we could talk for several hours, especially on data quality and the right data for consumption into the AI models. But we really would like to thank you for your time today. We really do appreciate it. We hope that we get a chance to come back and explore these topics in more depth. So on behalf of the CDO Magazine, I'd like to thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate it.
And for our listeners, please visit the CDO Magazine for additional interviews. Thank you.